We're playing Snake in RuneScape, moving around the map, one chunk at a time. We have an hour to complete as many things as possible before the snake is going to randomly move forward, left or right. If we can complete all the challenges in a chunk before the time is up, the snake grows, giving us more area to play with. Join me as we work towards the first goal of the account, unlocking the Champions Guild. This is SnakeScape. Welcome back. In the last episode, we had just escaped the Karamja jungle, and we had made our way over to Port Khazard. That's where you join me now, with the head of the snake in Gu'Tanoth and the tail of the snake in Port Khazard. Around us, we have a bunch of different things which we might have to work on. Ahead of us is the Feldip Hunter area, where we can actually work on some early Hunter for the first time. To our west is Castle Wars, which won't be useful for the minigame itself, but more for the bank chest and all the trees that are around there for our 72 fletching grind that we're slowly working on. And to our north we have East Ardoin, where there is a bunch of quests. We currently have 4 quest points on the way to our goal of unlocking the Champions Guild, so if we went up there it'd be great to unlock a couple of quests. But first and foremost, while we still have access to it, I really want to work on the angler set, so let's jump in and get to it. Okay, and here we are. Let's start the timer. I'm ready to rumble and the ship's going to leave in 2 minutes. So 3, 2, 1, go. I'm first of all going to fletch these oak logs that I had left in the bank. I'll hop them away and then we'll run onto the ship. If we have a couple of minutes after the end of the fishing trawler, I will sell the 50 odd bows that we currently have in the bank, just to get my cash stack up a little bit higher than it is. And with this one, if we don't get one, woo! We're officially dry on 2. After getting my first piece on the 3rd attempt, we're now at 25, with just still 1. And the very last one has nothing in it. With that, that is all we're going to be able to do with these hours. We've got 4 minutes remaining. I'm going to cook up the rest of the food that we have, and I will then move on to fletching if we have time. But there's a load of tuna to cook. This is really good food. I'm only 30 cooking. Oh wait, I'm not 30 cooking. Just before time's up, I'm going to quickly sell some of these bows just to make a little bit of money back. But that is all we're going to be able to do with the hour. We now lose access to the fishing trawler, so we're going to have to find something else to do. Let's jump in the tramp picker and see whether we're going to continue to head towards Corsair Cove. And here we are. The snake is currently facing south out of the Gu'Tanoth Island, meaning we can either go into Gu'Tanoth itself or keep heading down towards Feldip Hills. In that hour we weren't able to take anything off, which means that with 4 hours in Port Khazard we have only been able to get 1 piece of angler, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest. I was kind of hoping we'd get a few more. We haven't been able to take off anything else, so we are just going to have to roll. Let's see where we're going next. And it's into Gu'Tanoth. We can't actually get in here without any of the quests, so let's jump in the game and have a look at what we're going to do for the next hour. Right, so around here there's really not that much to do. We can't get actually into the bottom of here without having partially completed the watchtower quest. So there are a bunch of ogres which we could kill for long and curved bones, but I think I'm not going to do that just because I have to flinch them and I really don't feel like doing that. I'm going to wait until I've got some kind of ranged or magic training. What I think I'm going to do for this hour is I'm going to work on the long fletching goal. If this is your first time, we need to get to 72 fletching to be able to get to a U shield for a load of chunks, so I'm going to continue working towards that. We're currently at 46 fletching, so like 7-8% the way there. What I'm going to do is cut these oak trees and run them into this bank over here. I think that'll be a good use of time. So let's put away all the stuff and then start the timer. Okay, let's start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's run out to the oak trees that are just here. 57 wood cutting. I've changed up my strat a little bit. I'm just banking all these logs and then I'll do some bank standing at the end of the hour. And with that, we are now over 9% of the way to 72 fletching. I'm looking forward to getting this done at some point, because that will mean that a bunch of chunks will become unlocked, and that means we can extend the length of the snake, and it will mean there are times where we can just skip completed chunks and move on to kind of newer and better things. 48 fletching. And that is time up for this hour. We were able to make 513 longbows, and we got quite a long way into the next percent of fletching. We are still under 10% the way there, so I am looking forward to putting some more hours into that. Let's jump in the jump picker and see whether we're going to have to continue doing this. And here we are back in the jump picker. So in the hour, we were able to make some very good progress towards our fletching goal. And we can actually tick off some fletching here of the 42 required to fletch a willow shield. We did this quite a while ago, but we haven't been able to tick it off until now. It's also a magic best in slot, so I can tick that off too. But there's nothing else that we were able to do. I would like to pick up the Clue Hunter cloak in the next hour. I would love to change out from the red cape that we currently have. But from here, with the snake facing left, we can go into jigging, down into the Feldip Hills, or up into West Yanille. So let's see where the jump picker is going to take us. And it's south into the Feldip Hills. This is kind of annoying because we're now moving further away from a bank. Corsair Cove isn't that great because if we're to consider the charter ships, the only place that we can go from this charter ship location is onto Karamja, these two here, as I'm not including anything else that I can technically walk to. So that is a bit nerve-wracking. We may end up going back onto Karamja, but I'm not going to think about that now. Let's explore Feldip Hills. So the Feldip Hill chunks doesn't really have anything for me. There's a bunch of ogres here that we can kill for bones. But before we leave Yanille, I'm going to need to grab some stuff. I want to do one more hour of fletching, and I'm going to go buy a bunch of hunter equipment, because this entire area down here has quite a few different hunter spots, which as I'm level 9, I'll be able to start training a bit. So I think I'm going to carry a few different types of hunter equipment with me, just in case I can do some hunter. But let's run back up and start with some fletching. So I've grabbed a spade and some money. I'm going to run to the hunter shop and buy, I think, some bird snares, a noose wand, a teasing stick and a net, just in case we are able to train a bunch of hunter. I just bought a bunch of stuff. I'm going to put it all in the bank, and then when we finish this hour, I'll sort out my inventory for when we have to go bankless again. And if we dig here, that gives us the Clue Hunter cloak. This is going to be my new cape. It looks so much cooler than the red one. I'm 100% going to keep using this. Let's get to some fletching and woodcutting. So while I'm here doing a bit of woodcutting and fletching, let's just talk about unlocking chunks, because I've changed my mind just a little bit about it. I would like to be a bit more strict when I'm unlocking chunks now, at least for chunks that extend the snake. There are chunks which don't have anything in them, like the wilderness chunks which form 2 chunks of the snake. I don't particularly want to continue including those as snake lengthening chunks. I would like to only include a chunk when it actually has something that I've achieved to be able to unlock it. A bit like the dig site chunk, where it had some fletching and some thieving requirements. That's why in the Karamja jungle, I didn't unlock any of those chunks which were on the coast, which didn't have anything in them. One thing I also am going to start doing is I'm including herb lore and farming and hunter requirements. Even though I haven't got any way of doing them, I am still going to need to do them at some point. So if a chunk has a mob which drops seeds or drops herbs, that's immediately going to be backlogged because I don't have access to herb lore and I haven't been able to start training farming yet. I'm going to keep the 3 chunks that I have unlocked as unlocked. They're not going to affect the strength of the length of the snake, but I think I'm going to tighten it up significantly. So for the next few chunks that I want to unlock, that's what the play of the game is going to be. Hopefully that makes sense, and I hope you guys understand why I'd want to do this. Looking back, I feel kind of naff about having unlocked 2 chunks using the wilderness. It feels a bit cheap, so I hope this will kind of make up for it. I have got plans in the future for when the snake gets a little bit too long. Those you're going to have to stick around for. And there's 58 woodcutting. And with that, that is 10% of the way to 72 fletching. I am really looking forward to having this over and done with. It's going to unlock so many good chunks for us. And the snake will be significantly longer. I'm really looking forward to. And with that, that will be the end of my fletching. We ended up with 933 unstrung oak longbows, which will be a nice lump of cash next time we have access to a general store and a bank. I am going to leave that for there. We need to get sorted because we are about to lose access to a bank. Yanille has served me well. I think it deserves something special. Let's do a little segment, what I like to call ChatGPT's Fun Yanille Fibs. The Yanille fountain, a fountain in the town square, is said to grant a small boost of prayer for anyone who drinks from it, but it only does it on a full moon. And there's a wizard's garden. In Yanille, the wizards grow rare herbs in a hidden garden, which is used to brew potions of invisibility, though they only work for a couple of minutes. And inside the wizard's tower, there is a book that allegedly whispers magical secrets to any player who reads it, granting them temporary XP boosts in a random skill. These have been your fun Yanille Fibs. Okay, I've got myself set up for the next bankless, I don't know how many hours. I've got some fletching, fire making, some hunter, mining, woodcutting, and fishing equipment. Let's jump in the chunk picker and see where we're going to go. And here we are. I've added all of the equipment that I've put into my inventory to my chunks, so it should now show hunter whenever I'm in this area. We haven't been able to tick anything off, we've just been working towards the fletching goal. From here, the snake is currently facing south into Feldip Hills, so we can either go to the coast, go deeper towards the hunting expert, or turn left towards the chompy bird hunting. But of course, I won't be able to start that because I don't have the range requirement. But let's see where we're going next. And we go to the Feldip Hunter area. Let's remove a Yanille and calculate our tasks and jump into the game. This is the Feldip Hills Hunter area. In this area, we are going to be able to trade Hunter for the very first time. We're currently level 9, having completed the museum quiz. In this chunk, we're probably going to be using a few different hunting methods. First and foremost, we're going to be try catching some Feldip Weasles, and then once we're up at level 19, we're going to move on to tropical Wagtails. Let's see how much we can do in this hour. It feels quite fitting that we're starting Hunter now with the wolf cape on. It feels like a perfect upgrade to be using for this activity. Let's start the timer and we'll try and catch some Feldip Weasels. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's run over to the area down here. And there is our very first set of Hunter. I don't think this is going to be useful at all, so I'm probably just going to drop it once it gets back to full. And there's level 10 Hunter. I can't wait until we're level 19. This is painfully slow at the moment. Getting 2,800 XP an hour, and I'm constantly out of run because I'm so heavy. We should be able to get to 19, not in this hour, but at the middle of the next hour, I'm pretty sure. And there's 15 Hunter. Only 4 more levels until we can move on to a much better method. And with this is going to be 32 prayer. We're so close to some overheads. I'm really looking forward to it. Right, well, this is going to be the end of the chunk. I was 1 click away from the next Hunter thing. So let's jump in the chunk picker. And we are currently just shy of level 19 Hunter. Need 300 more experience, so we'll easily get that at the beginning of the next hour. Let's jump in the chunk picker and see where we go next. And here we are. The snake is currently facing south out of the Feldip Hunter area. We can't tick anything else off. There's nothing that we were able to achieve, but one thing that I forgot to tick off last time was getting the Clue Hunter cloak, so we'll tick that one up. There is a diary task here, which is to grow the vine, but that requires Eagle's Peak, so we won't be able to do that. Other than that, there's nothing else we can tick off, so we are just going to roll. We can either go straight forward into the West Corsair Cove chunk, go left into kind of a nothing chunk, or right into the Corsair Cove. Or if the snake turns to the west, we'll go to the Corsair resource area, which we can't get into yet. So it's going to be quite useless. But I don't get to pick. Let's roll. And we go left into the East Feldip shore. We now lose access to this island. And next time we roll, there's a chance of us going to the Corsair Cove. Let's calculate the tasks and get back to doing some hunter. I've been quite enjoying it. The new chunk we unlocked doesn't really have very much in it. It has a couple of new hunter creatures, but nothing that's too good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with the Weasles, and then I'll work on some of the jungle birds. And I'll do that for the hour. I'm getting a little bit sick of running around. I don't have Rings of Pursuit, so it's quite slow to do Feldip Weasels. But I'll keep going until level 19, and then I'll change it up. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. And with this should be level 19 hunter. We can now trap tropical wagtails. So I'm going to put down a bird snare in the middle of here, and then probably just continue doing the hunters around here, just so that this catches birds while I'm doing other stuff. This should increase my XP per hour quite substantially. I'm going to keep these feathers because I think I might be able to use them for fletchering. I don't really need to catch the rainbow fish, they're not that useful, so I might use these for fletchering when we get back to a bank. And there's 20 hunter. So I can now use 2 bird snares, which is super nice. It should boost my XP by quite a lot. Now that I've got 2 of these snares, the XP per hour has gone up substantially. It was about 2,500 when we were just doing the Weasels. It's now up at 7,500, which is incredible. And this is 25 hunter. One thing I've just realized is that because we now have more than 17 hunter, it means that Puro is now a method that we can use. So next time we're in a chunk where there is a wheat field, we can actually utilize Puro. I would probably hop before the timer started, try and hop to as many worlds as possible, try find an open portal, and then I can actually use it to train hunter and get some resources which I don't currently have access to. I would personally love to do some extra implings to be able to unlock some better gear. And with that, that is the end of the hour. So let's jump in the chunk picker. Oops. So let's jump in the chunk picker and see where we're going next. I really hope that we're not going to Corsair Cove. And here we are. So we are currently in the East Feldip Hills Hunter area, with the snake currently facing east. We did a load of hunter training there, and it was really good. We're now over 10,000 hunter experience. 45 would be the goal, as the 45 hunter requirement unlocks this chunk here with the butterflies which spawn here. From here, we can either go north or south. South is very dangerous because of the charter ships in Corsair Cove. Because everywhere else is on the same continent, the only place we're going to be able to go from there is Karamja yet again, which I don't fancy doing. But if we go north, we will head back up towards Yanille, and this will be quite nice. But of course, I don't get to pick. Let's roll. And it's north, thank goodness. We are going to be doing a bunch more hunter then. Let's jump into the game and have a look around. So this new chunk that we've got doesn't really unlock anything. There are a couple of ogres and some wolves in this chunk, but not really much else. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on hunter. But that is going to be for the next episode. We made some quite good progress towards fletching, we started Hunter, and we did 1 more hour of the fishing trawler. With the snake now facing north, I feel like we might end up doing a bit more of that. But of course, that will be for the next episode. If you have enjoyed this episode, a like would be greatly appreciated, and a subscription would be absolutely amazing. I'll see you soon. Bye.